There were a lot of games yesterday. Let's talk about all the games one by one. The first game is the Indiana Pacers losing to the Charlotte Hornets. Oh, this was a crazy game. Charlotte won in the end, 123-122. I mean, everybody in this game popped off. Justin Holiday is an old friend of us. We know this guy has some streaming value, especially if you need some steals and threes. Right now is not the time to pick him up because you're trying to find some good guys on the waiver wire. But as the season goes on, can take a look at him at some point if you need those steals and threes. Sabonis was huge. He was getting drafted, in the second and third round this season. The biggest problem with him is his free throw and no defensive stats, but everything else is huge. But he only somehow got 2 assists. He should be averaging close to 5. Everything else looks great. That's another big thing is the Pacers. Well, they got a new coach this year, but they run the main guys like huge minutes in the beginning of the season, so they all kind of fell off a little bit. Same thing with Malcolm Brogdon every single year. Start of the year super strong, 28 points, 11 assists. And he was getting drafted pretty late this season because everybody just knows who he is at this point. No defensive stats. His field goal is not as good as when he was on the Bucks. But I would look to try to trade Brogdon or Sabonis, both of them, because we know they fall off toward the end. But this is just game one. Miles Turner only 26 minutes because he was in some personal fouls, and so you want to see him play more minutes, but 4 blocks, 7 rebounds. I mean, you can't really complain. And this new rookie Chris Duarte, what a surprise! There is what's his name? Caris LeVert is out, so he's gonna be back. Before he comes back, we gotta pick this guy up. He played really, really well. He made 6 threes, 27 points, but he's not going to give you a lot of peripheral stats like rebound, assists, steals, and blocks. Mainly a scorer. Although I don't really know who he is. Can he get those defensive stats in the NBA? No idea. But the minutes is there. Go pick him up until Caris LeVert comes back. But if there are like better waiver wire agents out there that have season long values, maybe not so much because his value won't last. Torrey Craig, 27 minutes. Don't worry about him. And Jeremy Lamb used to be a top 50 guy. Let me turn on the camera. Jeremy Lamb used to be a top 50 guy, but now no minutes. And can leave him out on the waiver. And he played like shit, obviously. And TJ McConnell is a guy. He only played 24 minutes, but we know from last season, if you need assists and steals, he's the guy to go to. And he even had 2 blocks. And he was a -8, but assist steals, you could go for him. He played 20 to 25 minutes a night and, give you those exactly. That. And Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball popped off. He's going to have a huge year. 7 for 9. He took 23 shots. Thought he's going to mainly be a facilitator, but not so much this game. He only played 29 minutes. That is very interesting. He had 3 personal fouls, okay. But he's going to have a big year, and we know he gets a lot of rebound, assists, steals, and blocks. And the only thing with him is his efficiency might not be so good, but he hits a lot of threes, and he's going to score a bunch as well this year. Kelly Oubre Jr. played 35 minutes. The rotation is a little bit weird. Miles Bridges played 32, while PJ Washington came off and he's not in foul trouble. So the expectation is, we would have PJ Washington starting at the power forward, but that's not the case in the first game. I wouldn't go rush. Miles Bridges had a huge game, 33 minutes, 13 points, and 3 steals and a block, but that's not him. We know he doesn't really get those defensive stats. So I wouldn't go and rush to pick him up. Same thing with Kelly Oubre Jr. He was good 2 years ago. This game, again, just played horribly. But if you don't care about the efficiencies, he is worth take a look. Because the minutes is there, 35 minutes, but that could change any time. Right? The young guy, Jalen McDaniels and PJ Washington, they didn't get the playing minutes. Who knows? The playing time might be fluctuating all season for those some of the front court guys for the Hornets. Gordon Hood also very solid, somehow 5 for 8 from the free throw line, but him and LaMelo Ball, their spot on this team pretty secure. Everybody else is up and down. Mason Plumlee, again, Last year on Detroit Pistons, he was putting up really good numbers. And again, if he played 33 minutes, he's worth taking a look, for sure. And yep, and Cody Martin. That's it for this game. Let's move on to the next game. The Chicago Bulls beating the Detroit Pistons. I thought Zach LaVine is going to be take a back seat. He really popped off. He took 17 shots only and got 34 points. But DeRozan got his 17 shots and Vucevic got his 21. I still think Zach LaVine is not going to be, like last year, be that crazy last year. I mean, he could. I mean, it would be close. He's still going to average 25 points. But the main thing with him, and his efficiency is great, like field goal, free throw. But the main thing is assists, steals, blocks, and rebound. Well, he gave it all this game, so it's great. I would look to trade him for a struggling top 15 guy, for sure. If that opportunity comes, if he stays hot for the first couple of weeks, if you can get a Paul George, who's Paul George is up and down. Paul George give more steals, even though he doesn't get that many steals anymore, but he should have more rebounds. All the peripheral stats. Vucevic, he's gonna be great. And again, this year, just so consistent in fantasy. 15 rebound, struggle shooting, but I'm not worried about him. He's like a rock, and he doesn't really get hurt all that often. DeRozan, his first game as a Bull, on the Spurs last year, he was really good assist. He could be really good, but this year I don't really see it. That's why he's drafted. I don't think he was getting drafted that early, but he could be 15 point. He could score 15, 16, 17 points and grab some rebound, maybe some free throws, but he doesn't shoot threes. So I'm not too excited about DeRozan without those assists. Lonzo Ball also should have a great year. Didn't really play well at all this game, but you could buy low. He might struggle the first 2 weeks. Anytime that happens, try to buy low. And other than the starters, I mean, Alex Caruso got his 27 minutes. I mean, his defensive stats is really nice, but they also play Detroit Pistons. And yeah, don't pick anybody up on the Bulls. And Patrick Williams got 28, but not interested in him. For Detroit Pistons, their first draft pick. Shoot, what's his name? Cunningham. Yep, he's still out. A lot of people are pretty high on him. So let's see what kind of stats he put up, or how he looks. So right now, Killian Hayes. I mean, not interested in him. I mean, they drafted him last year, but now they drafted Cunningham. So this guy, for the rest of the season, unless somebody gets hurt, not really high on him. They got a bunch of guys. Corey Joseph somehow got 28 minutes. Not interested in him. But Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart for sure. Those guys could have a pretty good year. Sadiq Bey mainly just a three-point guy. I mean, he had 9 rebounds. His minutes going to be secure, but can he do the other stuff? We don't know. 4 assists here is nice. Jeremy Grant, 24 points. I mean, he's gonna average 20 points this season. Because there's nobody else. I mean, Cunningham might take some shots, but nobody else is. Like, look at the roster. Like, nobody else is gonna. So he should be averaging 20 points. His value mainly come from the other stats. Can he get blocks? What about his efficiency? But I feel pretty good about his volume of offensive output. Isaiah Stewart play only 26 minutes. Only 1 block. But he should be solid all season, in my opinion. And the rest of the guys, Kelly Olynyk is a drop. Only getting 20 to 22 minutes. Not too high on him. He was really good last year on the Rockets, playing 30 minutes, but yeah. Okay, the next game was crazy. Went to 2 overtime. Knicks beating the Celtics. So I wouldn't say don't overreact today. I mean, Jason Tatum shot really, really poorly. But if you draft Jason Tatum, he can. These type of games do happen. He took 30 shots. Jaylen Brown also took 30 shots. So it's still those 2 guys' team. The difference between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is Tatum is a better free throw shooter. That's about it. I mean, Jaylen Brown is just as good, in fantasy at least. The rest of the line looked pretty good, but don't overreact. Robert Williams, wow, that's why drafted this guy. This is what he can do. He also played 45 minutes. That's surprising, and only one personal foul. Consider he blocked 5 shots. That's really, really impressive. On per game basis, right now he's like the 4th ranked player in 9 category leagues, just using Basketball Monster rankings. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 15, top 20 guy in 9 category, because he gets the blocks. And he did everything this game. I mean, 3 assists, 3 steals. No threes, of course. But man, he's going to have a huge year. Top 20. If he drafted this guy, I mean, there's also always some concern with this guy. But the first game looks like he's going to get majority of the center minutes, right? Ennis Kanter did not play. At some point, Kanter might come in here and play a little bit. So if he can trade him for, I don't know, a Miles Turner, I think Miles Turner is better than Robert Williams. But we'll see. Maybe Robert Williams is gonna play 35 minutes, 30. Well, this game did go to 2 overtime, but maybe he can average 30 minutes every game. But I have my doubts about Robert Williams. Jaylen Brown, wow, 46 points. Again, if you can get a top 15 guy for Jaylen, like if you can get a Paul George for Jaylen, I would do it. But he looked really, really good, and he just got COVID too, so that's kind of crazy. 46 points, 3 steals. I mean, did everything. Again, this game went to two double overtime. Marcus Smart, we know what this guy does: assists and steals, and some threes. He did all that, so that's pretty good. And Dennis Schroeder, is he a must roster guy? He played 32 minutes in 2 overtime. So I think his minutes is going to be like 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. I don't think he's a must roster guy, and he played horribly, minus 16. So we'll see what's going to happen. But we know, like, his fantasy game, he gives you some assists and points, but that's about it. So I'm not too excited about Dennis Schroeder, his outlook the rest of the season. For the New York Knicks, yeah, Julius Randle again, 35, 8 rebound, 9 assists, and 3 blocks. The biggest thing with him is the counting stats look really, really good, but just no defensive stats. Man, they're going hard. Again, last season I thought Randle was going to cool down at some point, but he never did. He kept it going all season, and he kind of got exposed in the playoffs a little bit. Just horrible efficiencies game after game against the Atlanta Hawks. Is he gonna run out of gas? I don't know. We'll see. He has such high usage on this team. Evan Fournier is a must roster, I think, at the moment. You gotta pick him up. I thought Kemba is gonna be. Kemba only took 8 shots. That didn't really make much sense. Evan Fournier took 25. I mean, he did play 10 more minutes, but that looks wrong. Maybe Evan Fournier just had it going, so they were looking for him this game. But I think he's worth a pickup, because we know what this guy can do, can score, and if he's going to be the second option, who knows? He might be better than his Magic days, or he could be he could give you good points and threes. And look at the defensive stats. Although I don't think he's a big defensive guy, but he's worth a pickup. Kemba Walker, I don't think you drop him yet. It's just one game and he took only 8 shots. So he'll be better than this for sure. I think he's going to average close to 20 points on this Knicks team. I think he's going to be the second option. Should comfortably getting 16, 17 shots a game. But that's not the case this game, so I'll keep an eye on him. Derrick Rose, nope, not don't really. And because Kemba Walker, all the young guys like Emmanuel Quickly, he's not going to get much playing time, so that really sucks. And RJ Barrett, if you don't care about the efficiencies, he's still not that good. The next game, the Washington Wizards beating the Toronto Raptors. Wow. I mean, Raptors only scored 83 points. I mean, even Detroit scored 88. A Nick Nurse coach team, so that's surprising. For the Knicks, for the Wizards, KCP, nope, not interested in him. Kyle Kuzma, you know, we know what this guy does. He's gonna give you some points and rebound, but he did a little bit of everything, and he's gonna have some huge opportunities. So I don't hate the idea of rostering him. He's gonna average 35 minutes, you know, 30 to 35 minutes for sure at the moment. But that could change anytime. And you know, Daniel Gafford, he's the starting center. He only played 22. Yeah, that's the issue with guys like Daniel Gafford. Oh, sorry, I didn't even talk about Mitchell Robinson yet. Forgot to. Mitchell Robinson only played really good, and only 2 fouls. That's really good. You know, 17 rebound. He's also gonna have a huge year. So I was just gonna say, like, guys like Robinson, Robert Williams, Gafford in the modern NBA, they're very one-dimensional. I guess Robert Williams could be a good defender on the perimeter. But, you know, the guys who can't shoot threes, sometimes it's hard to play in the 30-35 minutes. They have to be really good. They have to offer something else. Which is, like, understandable. Daniel Gafford only get 22 minutes, but he's a must-roster guy in 22 minutes. Who knows? Sometimes he might play 25. But I feel pretty good. Like, he should average at least 22 minutes every single night. And look at what he did. 2 steals, 4 blocks. In category leagues, he's a must roster. In points leagues may not be that sexy. In category leagues, real sexy stuff. Must roster guy. If he's out on the waiver wire, go around. Don't walk. 23 points from Beal. We know he's gonna have average almost 30 points this season. Not much to talk about. Struggled somewhat. Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay. Also, this game was a blowout, so you know some of the starter minutes kind of low. Spencer Dinwiddie, his debut as a Wizard, 6 assists, 13 points. No defensive stat. He's a very low defensive stats guy. So that's why I'm not too high on him. He give you good assists, which is hard to find. Assist points, but he didn't even attempt the 3-point shot this game. So that's somewhat disappointing. But you know, he's worth rostering. And I would try to look to trade him if he pops off, because his counting stats could look good, but really this guy doesn't really offer, you know, a defensive stat. Harrell played 26. That is interesting. And Daniel Gafford played. So, you know, maybe they're splitting the minutes, but Gafford is obviously the guy we want. Davis Bertans, 13 minutes. Ron Neto, you know, those guys. Bertans a couple years ago, it was good. But yeah, for the Raptors, I think looks really good for Scotty Barnes. Like, he played horribly. No, he didn't play horribly. He shot the ball. I mean, everybody did. Raptors as a team collectively shot 30%. He scored 12 points, 9 rebounds. That's really good. And I think from his college stats, he's a good defender. He gets a lot of defensive stats and assists, some assists as well. The fact that he has 6 turnovers is good, actually. That means he has the ball on his hand many times, although he only had 1 assist. So I feel good about this guy moving forward. So don't drop him. And he also played 32 minutes, and I think his role on this team is secure. So I think it's encouraging stuff from the first game. OG 3 for 17. I don't know what's going on with that, but obviously a must roster guy. I mean, his efficiency is going to struggle. He's going to be the number 2, 3 option, and the worry is, you know, if he spends time on offense, his defensive stat going to go down. That's not why we drafted OG. We were expecting some great defensive stats, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Precious Achiuwa, I mean, and Chris Boucher, you know, those guys Chris Boucher obviously played 25 minutes a night, and Cambridge. So you know, there are a lot of big guys. It's kind of crowded. Like Chris Boucher, I don't think he's worth rostering at the moment. If somebody gets hurt, sure. Last year, I mean, he wasn't getting a lot of minutes. Nick Nurse just doesn't really love this guy. But if somebody gets hurt, he's gonna start playing 25 or 30 minutes. Then everything is great. Goran Dragic, nope, not interested in this guy. This guy is pretty washed, in my opinion. Fred VanVleet struggled 5 for 20. We know, just like Jason Tatum, when you draft this guy, I mean, this guy shot the ball like low, not even 40%. I mean, 39, something like that. So it's the other stuff. The first game, only 4 assists. That's not, you know, because with Kyle Lowry gone, we think Fred VanVleet should get more assists. But it's just one game, and they really struggled, so that's fine. 2 steals in the block. This guy gets blocks, man. For such a short dude. Mainly, maybe not blocks, just strips for him. But he bounced back from this. A vital opportunity. If in category leagues, he's pretty good. The next game again, high scoring, 132 to 121, crazy. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, man, Evan Mobley looked really, really good. He was a minus 18, so that's bad, but he played 38 minutes. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. He's a must-roster guy. Everywhere, I mean, the 6 assists was really surprising. I mean, he even attempted 2 threes, so he's a big dude that can do everything. A must-roster and got the most minutes on the team. And I mean, there were some worries that Kevin Love, Lauren Markkinen and Jarrett Allen, but Jarrett Allen is playing as a 3. And who got the most minutes is Mobley. So must roster. Jarrett Allen popped off, but he only played 28 minutes. 3 steals, 3 blocks. If you can trade him for a guard, top 20 or 30 guard that struggled first couple weeks, go do it. And the fact that he only played 20 minutes just tells the story. Colin Sexton, they didn't extend him beginning of the season. So I wonder if that's going to do with, I mean, he was also pretty bad, minus 14. But, yeah, he only took 13 shots. Colin Sexton is a guy that last year he averaged 25 points. I don't think he's going to average 25. He's going to give you maybe close to 20 points and good efficiency as a little guard. But, man, 1 rebound, 1 assist, nothing else. It's rough. I don't even think he's a must-roster guy. Maybe he is because the points are valuable. Darius Garland also, I mean, you could say he played horrible, but 12 assists, man. He's going to average, 6-7 assists, which is good. If he can bring in some steals, that would really help his value. But we know he's inefficient and a lot of turnovers. Kevin Love will drop. And Lauren Markkinen is a hold. If he play 30-plus minutes, can offer some good rebounds, threes, and points. So a hold for now. And Ricky Rubio, if you need assists and steals, I mean, he played 25 minutes. That's higher than I expected. If he gets 25 minutes a night, he's worth rostering, I think, in my opinion. He gets a lot of assists and steals. For the Grizzlies side, Ja Morant, I would look to trade him. Obviously, if you drafted Ja Morant, you must love him. If he continue to go like this, trade him for a top 20 guy. See if he can pull that off, because he got 2 blocks, which is nice, but he doesn't make threes. I think we all know at this point. Last season, also the season opener, he popped off, but I don't think he can go that hard all season. He took 29 shots also. 37 points is really great, but I look to trade him for any top 20 guy. I wouldn't really think much. Who struggled on the opening night? I'm not sure. Like maybe Shea, for sure. I wouldn't think. D'Anthony Melton also played really, really well. No defensive stats, which he's known for, but shot the ball really well. But the main concern is Dillon Brooks. So if somebody believes D'Anthony Melton is going to be this scary, I'll try to trade him, because Dillon Brooks is going to be the starting shooting guard. And that's when the D'Anthony Melton, Desmond Bane minutes is going to be, their minutes going to be like, they're going to be up and down. Steven Adams, sure, he played 32 minutes. Surprising. 14 rebound, a steal and a block. Okay, not too bad of an opener. Yeah, like he's worth rostering if you need those big man stats. Darren Jackson Jr., 31 minutes. That's, struggle shooting the ball. All his field goals are from threes. He's such a unicorn. He attempted 8 threes. Crazy. He's basically like a guard that can block shots. He blocked 4 shots, so can't really complain with this stat line. Desmond Bane, if you have Desmond Bane and D'Anthony Melton until Dillon Brooks comes back and see what happens. We know Grizzlies pretty deep. They got a lot of guys. Kyle Anderson, 25. I mean, had 2 steals, 4 assists. The stat line looks good, but if you're only going to play 22 minutes, I wouldn't go and grab him. If you already have him, maybe you can ride out for 1 or 2 games, and if there are hot waiver agents out there, sure, go for it. The next game to the Rockets, losing to the minute, yeah. Rockets really, they got beaten really bad. Kevin Porter Jr., that's why he's bad. He's a bad player on a bad team. He struggled really, he had 9 turnovers. Somehow, Jalen Green was a minus 37 with 0 turnovers. So I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how he got 9 turnovers. It's just bad passes. We know he's inefficient everywhere. But if you have a Russell Westbrook, you got Kevin Porter Jr., you got Luka Doncic, right? Kevin Porter Jr. all of a sudden looks pretty good. You don't care about the efficiencies. I mean, every once in a while he'll pop off, but if you team efficient, I would look to move him after some huge games from him. But now is not the time. You gotta just sit tight, wait for him to have a few nice games, which will come, I think. Daniel Theis, he's a starting center, played not interesting. Christian Wood, had some high hopes for this guy, but this is obviously a bad game. Hopefully he'll bounce back. Jay Shante, nope, not interesting. Eric Gordon is still getting minutes, and Jalen Green, same thing like Kevin Porter Jr. He's had the opportunity, he has the minutes. He's going to have some nice games, but for the most part, he's going to struggle pretty hard with his efficiencies and maybe even turnover. But if you want to hold, don't hate the idea. And this guy, Sengun, he's a rookie, looks pretty, he has some hype. In the preseason, he played pretty well, but he only gets 18 minutes here. I don't know, you have to be in the number 1 spot to hold this guy. Toward the end of the season, he might get freed. He might be starting over Theis. Not at the moment. So I wouldn't touch him at the moment. But if he gets 25 minutes, yes. I don't think we need to ask any questions. Timberwolves, the new roster looking good. They got their first win. Maybe they can make the playoffs. Who knows? A lot of young guys. Josh Okogie not interested. Look at Jaden McDaniels. In 25 minutes, because the game was a blowout, maybe he gets a few more minutes. Maybe he can get that up to 30 minutes. 4 steals and 3 blocks. He's a really good blocks guy. So the 4 steals for sure is interesting. Against the bad Rockets team, probably Kevin Porter Jr. donated all those steals to him. But I think he's worth rostering for sure. If he's out there in category leagues, go grab him. He can do a bit of everything. Karl-Anthony Towns great. Against a bad Rockets team, not much to talk about. Even Cat got into 2 steals. Anthony Edwards great. The fact that he took 21 shots, he might just be the number 1 option. Number 1, number 2. When I say number 1, taking the most field goal attempts. He might take more shots than Cat. That's the problem with the big men, is that they can't get their own shot. So the guard has to feed him, and the guard is D'Angelo Russell, who's not known for feeding. He gets a lot of assists, but Cat only got 15 shots, 11 for 15. So Anthony Edwards might have the most field goal attempts. So I'm pretty huge on Anthony Edwards. His efficiency not so great and has a lot of turnovers, but the counting stats and big thing is he's big, so he can block shots and get a lot of steals. So I like Anthony Edwards. D'Lo played okay. Again, struggled from the field. Nothing new with him. We know he's going to struggle from the field. And a bad free throw guy. As a point guard, low 80, high 70s. But looks pretty good, either way. And Malik Beasley had a great year last year, but, don't worry about him. And nobody else on the team was that interesting. If Cat gets hurt, somehow Naz Reid is probably a must pick up. Look at this stat line. In 18 minutes, he had 1 steal and 3 blocks. He's a monster. If he gets the minutes, but at the moment, not really. The next game, the Philadelphia Sixers and beat the New Orleans Pelicans. Sixers is a mess. With the Ben Simmons situation was a mess. But doesn't matter. They're winning games. They always beat regular season. They have so many blowouts just in my memory. Again, another blowout. So Joel Embiid, 20 easy work, 22 points. He should be I think per game basis, he could be a top 5, top 6 guy. Again, this season. It's just the health. That's the only thing. Tobias Harris is great in just 28 minutes. Just easy game for them. In Tobias fashion, no steals and blocks. Danny Green, what is this? 18 minutes. You could still stream him for some defensive stats, but this game, he got one shot off and just absolutely nothing. That's got to be, I don't know, 3 fouls. That's hard to do. Nothing. Not even 1 rebound. Seth Curry, just a streamer in my opinion. Tyrese Maxey is a pickup, at least with the Ben Simmons situation. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. I think Ben Simmons is gonna play. He got suspended. I mean, he showed up. He's going to play, but he may not play 35 minutes a night. So, but when Ben Simmons does come back, Tyrese Maxey is not gonna have this much value. And if Ben Simmons gets traded, most likely it's going to be a guard. They're not gonna get some front court guy. So again, like that guard is at least at CJ McCollum level. So that's also gonna eat into Tyrese Maxey's minutes, in my opinion. But right now, for sure, yeah, go grab him. And then our friend Matisse Thybulle, we gotta grab him until if he gets 25 to 30 minutes a night, sure, for his defensive stats. And Andre Drummond, I would trade him if somebody. Also, they're against a bad team, Pelicans, and because it's a blowout, Andre Drummond, do you trade him? Like, trade him for any, like, if you can trade him for Mobley, go do it. If you can trade him for Scotty Barnes, some rookie guys that might have struggled, go get them. He's not gonna have value. Even the next game, because they played a bad team and Joel Embiid took the night off. Took the fourth quarter off pretty much. Pelicans, Josh Hart had an injury right off the bat. That really sucks. Hopefully he comes back. But with him out, who is gonna take some? Satoransky is on this team. I don't think anybody. Garrett Temple's on it yet. Nobody's gonna really benefit. Brandon Ayman, great, 25 points. We know he give you rebound, assists, and points, but inefficient. I mean, okay from the field, but steals and blocks really lacking. Valanciunas, how did he go 3 for 19? That is crazy. But he's obviously a must-roster guy. 12 rebounds, really, really good field goal and rebound guy. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, yes, he's gonna have a pretty good year. He played 34 minutes, took 16 shots, so can't be mad. Valanciunas took 19, but I can't be mad at him taking 16. I want to see him taking, average 17, 18 shots a game, so he could average 20 points, and he's a good defense. He gets defensive stats. That's why I like this guy. The inefficiency, yes. So if he struggles, and so he gets dropped, instantly scoop. Spend your number 1 waiver on him, I think. Devontae Graham, wow, he shot the ball well. That's crazy. 18 points. He's a good threes and assist guy. He's gonna be the starting point guard, so he's worth rostering, especially if you're pounding field goals. Okay, let's see. There's so many games. Okay, we got 4 games. The next game is Orlando Magic losing to the Spurs. Yes, Mo Bamba. 27 minutes, really, really good. 1 steal and 4 blocks, but I don't think Mo Bamba is going to have a. For sure, he cannot do this every game, but he can average 2 blocks, and everything else may not be sustainable. And I don't even know the minutes going to be sustainable. So we'll see. Wendell Carter Jr. played only 19 minutes. I wouldn't drop him yet. I expected him to play higher minutes than 19. I don't know what happened this game. I guess it was just going small versus the Spurs. It's not he didn't play that bad. He was a +3 when he on the court. So for sure, a hold Mo Bamba. If he continues to pop off, I would look to trade him, add him and another guy to get a really, really good guy. Who knows? Maybe he has a breakout season, but this is year what for him. And I don't think he's that good. He shot the ball really, really 3 for 4 from the 3. 4 blocks, yes, he can do that from time to time, but everything else, obviously he can do that from time to time, but his main value is blocks. And as a big guy, he doesn't really grab that many rebounds, or his field goal is good. Like, he's not a good field goal guy. He likes to be on the perimeter shooting threes. Jalen sucks. He's going to struggle if you want to keep it. Like a lot of rookie guards, I mean, he's going to put up some horrible, horrible efficiencies. numbers. If your team is punting efficiencies, a field goal, sure, and turnovers too. Cole Anthony, not interested in this Magic team. Really, they don't really have any good fantasy guys. Mo Bamba, probably Wendell Carter Jr., but everybody else, I mean, they used to have Vucevic, but everybody else is really, really pretty bad. In fantasy, at least. I mean, probably in real life. San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson, this guy fooled us last year. I wouldn't go pick him up. I mean, he was our top 50 guy last year for a while, but, we know. He gets some minutes, he has an opportunity, but not really great. McDermott, yep, nope. Pirtle, wow. 7 assists. I guess in the Spurs system, he's going to get some assists. So that's great, but no blocks. In some specific team build, if you punting points and threes, Jacob Pirtle could be great. But this is a first good game. I mean, a first game, and he played really well. Assist. Just want to see those defensive blocks coming in. Derek White and Derek White should have a pretty good year. He should have, 1 for 3 from the free throw line is bad, but he's a guy who can do everything. Not in huge volume. Like, he can get you 1.1, 1.2 steals. He can get you 0.9 blocks. And, 4.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds. So now the category has eye-popping or sexy. But collectively, if he does it all, he obviously doesn't really score that much either. But he, played really well this game. Shooting the ball wise. Dejounte Murray struggled 6 for 17. But 4 steals, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. That's why we drafted Dejounte. Really good game from him. And Devin Vassell. Not interested in this guy. He played okay, 2 steals, 5 assists, but 25 minutes it just doesn't do enough for me. And Lonnie Walker, yeah. I mean, on the Spurs team, really, I think the best fantasy guy should be Dejounte, Pirtle, Derek White. I mean, I think Derek White and Dejounte could both be top 60 guys, just because they do everything. Dejounte obviously doesn't shoot threes, and Pirtle is I think a 3 category specialist. Okay, let's go on to the next game. And Orlando Magic, because they got blowouts, I wouldn't worry too much about Wendell Carter Jr. This game, also another blowout. Thunder might just run into a lot of those situations. Shea, got off 17 shots, 18 points, but no defensive. They kind of got destroyed. So I wouldn't worry too much about Shea. He should be a monster this season. So if you can buy low on him, I would. Josh Giddey, I don't know, is that how you say his name? I'm pretty high on this guy. He's a guard, but fairly tall, 6'6", 6'7", so he can grab rebound. He obviously struggled hard, 2 for 7, but the fact that he grabbed 10 rebounds, I really like that. And he doesn't force things, so like his field goal it's bad, but won't be in high volume. So I'm still looking forward to see him put together something nice. Derek Favors played 20 minutes. I mean, he really, you could stream him. Like, he's a starting center on this team. He's a veteran. He won't have season-long value, but if they got 3 games this week and you need some big man stats, you could potentially look for him, but not right now. Just down the season, down the line. Right now, you're trying to look for some upside. Darius Bazley, you can't fool me. The guy scores some points and rebound, but nothing else. It's so bad efficiency-wise. Not interested. Lou Dort, he could be a points and 3 points because they really need some offense on this team. So you could stream him, but right now is not the time. And Isaiah Roby, Prokashevsky, like those guys get 30 minutes, they're still not very good, and now they're getting 15. So yep, you can. OKC has, I think, the rookie Josh is going to take over at some point. Look at the minutes, so 28 minutes. So because of the blowout, I mean, I'm the highest on Josh. So if this guy's out there on the waiver wire, I think he offers some nice upside. But everybody else on this team is not that sexy. For the Jazz, Bogdanovic played well. I mean, just same old with this Jazz team. Rudy Gobert, 21 rebounding, 30 minutes, 1 block. Donovan struggled, but 2 steals and a block. That's great. We if you draft this guy, you got to pump field goal. And Mike Conley 4 steals. Mike Conley's okay. He's an old guard. I'm not too high on him. So especially in the beginning of the season, if Mike Conley pops off, I will try to look to move him. He's gonna get hurt at some point. The past 2 years, his hamstring been bothering him. So I looked into trade him. But this game is boring. And Hassan Whiteside got 18 minutes. If Rudy Gobert ever gets hurt and Whiteside gets 20 to 25 minutes, he's a must roster. But nothing at the moment. And Jordan Clarkson doing the same thing. I mean, this Jazz team is pretty much the same from last year. Nothing really changed. The starting 5 stayed exactly the same. Okay. I didn't have my coffee yet. Denver and Phoenix. It's a premier matchup pretty late at night. Michael Porter Jr. is the guy that I am most interested to see how he take it to the next level this year. First game, only got 10 shots off. Maybe he could be more aggressive. I don't know. But that's good. He got 5 assists. That is crazy. And Jokic only got 2. So they're doing something there. I mean, I'm not worried about Jokic. He's going to average 6-7 assists. I'm not worried about Jokic at all. But the fact that Michael Porter Jr. got the most assists, it's a weird game. I didn't watch the game. Maybe Phoenix is doing something weird. Letting Jokic beat them. As in let Jokic, take all the shots. Not let him pass. So maybe that has something to do with that. But wow, if you drafted Michael Porter Jr., you probably wanted to punt assists. Because the guy averaged under 1 assist. But his value is going to skyrocket if he can average just full assist. Because in 9 category leagues, he doesn't turn the ball. I guess with more assists, he's going to turn the ball over a bit more. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on him on his assists. But the first game looks really good, and minutes should be secure. Last year there was some bullshit with him, getting COVID, coming back, playing 20 minutes for a while. But yeah, very high on Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon, this guy tried to break out for 5 years. ESPN was saying breakout candidate Aaron Gordon year after year. At this point, not even a streamer. Maybe it could be a streamer, but Jokic assist is weird, but everything else is just what Jokic does. Will Barton, Will Barton does this every year. He give you good points, some rebound and some assist. Efficiency wise, I mean, he shot the ball really, really well. Same thing last year, beginning, maybe not in the beginning, but there were a period of time he was popping off, and then he goes one game he shoots 1 for 13 and start losing his confidence, and then he become a droppable guy. But right now, go pick him up. Monty Morris, he's gonna be the starting point guard until Jamal Murray, but he's not sexy at all. Because with Jokic on the team, Jokic is gonna get most of the assists, so I wouldn't go grab it. If you really, really want some assists, I think there were better options on the waiver wire. For the Phoenix Suns, what a loss. Mikal Bridges. Same thing. I mean, every year, if you're punting assists and you combine Mikal Bridges and Michael Porter Jr., similar guys. Obviously, Michael Porter Jr. is, way more points and rebounds. But 1 steal and 1 block, that's really good. He only averaged 1.1 steals last year. I want to see him getting 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. Then he become a top 30 guy. A Robert Covington 2.0. Let's see if that happens. 0 for 2 from free throw, that's fine. I'm not too worried. Jay Crowder, nope, only a streamer. DeAndre Ayton. The guy is weird. He played really, really well in the playoffs last season. Regular season, he didn't really, thought getting Chris Paul would, he only got 10 shots off, only 6 rebounds, but he's solid. He's a top 40 guy. But just don't see him take another step forward, and maybe even, stats-wise, in the regular season. Devin Booker struggled, 3 for 15. But this is a good opportunity to buy low, Mo Bamba plus another guy for Devin Booker. That's you could that happen. Obviously, they're very different. They bring very different categories, but Devin Booker will be better than this. And he got 1 steal. That's not bad. Chris Paul, another great one. 15 points. He was a minus 20. 15 points, 10 assists. That's better. I mean, I thought Chris Paul is gonna kind of a year older. They would give more minutes to Cameron Payne, or maybe even playing together, because Cameron Payne in the playoff he proved that he can play. He only got 14 minutes here, but what else are you gonna do? I do think Chris Paul might sit out a lot of games, and Cameron Payne, when he does sit out, Cameron Payne is gonna have some huge value. Stream the heck out of him. That's it for the Suns. I mean, they didn't really play well this game. And last game of the night, the Sacramento Kings 124 beat them 124-121. Wow, Harrison Barnes, what a game! If you can trade him for anybody, any value, any guy with upside, I would do it. 36. This is what he does. I mean, for years now, he's a pretty good scorer. Bring you some rebound and 2 steals, 8 for 11 from 3. Yeah, he won't do this. He won't do this again. He's currently the number 2 ranked player. He won't do this again this season. So if you can trade him for anybody, like if you want to pick him up, sure. Maybe he can. Maybe he stays hot for the first couple of weeks. Had the confidence going. Rashawn Holmes, what a beast! What a beast, man. He was getting drafted pretty late in a lot of leagues because the thing with him is just his field goal is so huge. But the rest of his stats line doesn't look that sexy. Like he doesn't even grab that many rebound or blocks. But really, he was a plus 20. He should have a monster year. Just so good. Love this guy in fantasy. Tyrese Halliburton struggled by low. That's all I can say. By low. He only played 28 minutes too, but he should be a top 50, 60 guy, I think, pretty comfortably. Darren Fox, great stuff. 5 turnovers. We know he does that. Bad free throw, we know he brings that. Bad field goal, yes. Pair him up with Russell Westbrook. Pair him up with Kevin Porter Jr. Sound like a pretty good strategy. And pair him up with Luka Doncic. You basically pound in 3 efficiency categories. But your counting stat will be pretty strong. Buddy Hield coming off the bench. That him and Tyrese Halliburton, they're eating into each other's minutes just a little bit. But I want to see Tyrese Halliburton getting more minutes than that. But we'll see. He obviously struggled the first game. He'll be better than this. That's why I think it's a battle. You do not drop him. Davio Mitchell played 24 minutes. This guy is a beast defender, but I thought he's going to have a lot of opportunities on the Kings. And Marvin Bagley, he was getting drafted, on someone's roster. At this point, I mean, he didn't play, so dropping without thinking about it. And the last team of the night, wow, it's been going for 48 minutes. Getting tired. Robert Covington, 2 blocks. You hold this guy. You don't drop this guy ever. If he gets 30 minutes, at some point he's going to turn around. But we do see last year with Nurkic in the beginning of the season, he played really, really bad. So if Nurkic is healthy all season, maybe he without Nurkic, he was playing like bigger, protecting the paint a little bit more. That just opened up everything for him. So we'll see. Maybe that's the case. Nurkic first game pretty strong. 20 points, 4 personal fouls. If it wasn't for that, he might even push up. He could have a monster year. He could be a top 20 guy. 7 for 7. We will see. CJ McCollum, great. 34 points, great stuff. 3 steals and a block. 5 assists. But we know CJ is mostly going to give you 23, 24 points, 3 threes, and nothing else. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals and a block. I don't think this is going to happen all that often from CJ. And Damian Lillard struggled shooting the ball. That's fine. 11 assists, a steal. Damian Lillard is a top 10 guy every single year, and he doesn't really get hurt that much. And drop Larry Nance Jr. 17 minutes. Don't think he's gonna have. And if Norman Powell, he's not a must roster guy. If you need some points and threes, and they got a lot of games coming up, sure you could stream him, but he's not a must roster. I think we know that. And I think Damian Lillard, who knows? CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons, who knows? But I think if they get traded, their value will most likely stay the same, even with Joel Embiid there. Maybe, who knows, like with such an interior force, their efficiency will be better, and they'll still be the second option. So they'll still get off enough shots, no matter, if they got traded. So that I wouldn't worry about those too much. Okay, that's it for all the games. I'll see you guys tomorrow.